Welcome to the Loving God, Loving Life Devotional. We're jumping here into Matthew chapter 6. Jesus is continuing the Sermon on the Mount, and here he teaches in Matthew 6 what we call the Lord's Prayer. You see below there, the very first verse here, this then is how you should pray. And the very first words out of Jesus' mouth when he taught us to pray is this: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. It was years ago, as I was reading this, I'll never forget, that I just saw it. I just saw this amazing picture, and I realized that, my gosh, I don't think that I've never done what Jesus was teaching me to do. Jesus wants us to begin our prayers with God. And I realized I had never done it. No, don't get me wrong, I'd begun my prayers in worship, but even my worship, I would say 99% of my worship came through the filter of me. Let me just illustrate it this way. We all are familiar with the Hubble telescope that is out beyond our atmosphere. Well, when they put that telescope out beyond our atmosphere, it changed everything. It shockingly changed our view of the universe. We realized the universe was massively, massively, massively greater than we realized. Why? Because we viewed everything. Every telescope we had, every view we had was had to go through our atmosphere, had to go through our pollution, had to go through us. Well, that's pretty much even our worship, usually. Quite honestly, even our worship begins kind of filtered through us. I've learned to start this way. And here's a phrase I say almost every day in worship. Just based on Jesus' words, I say this: God, regardless of where I'm at, you are amazing. And then I just jump right into that. Father, hallowed be your name. But just that phrase, God, regardless of where I'm at, and then I'm jumping out to him. For me personally, I have to say that. In order to get out there with God, I want to worship God as he is. What if I am? What if I am a louse? What if I did have a bad day? What if I am in the middle of some funk? Does that change God? Is God different? Is God a little lower because I'm a little lower? That is, I was doing exactly what Jesus was teaching. Well, I was not doing exactly what Jesus was teaching me to do. Gang, let's not filter our worship through us. God is amazing regardless of where we think we are. And that's exactly where Jesus wanted us to start. If you'll start there, worshiping God as he is. And how would I know? How would I know if I'm worshiping God as he is? Well, the hallowed is a verb describing an action of awe, an action of if I'm worshiping God as he is, unadulterated, there's going to be a certain sense of if I realize how present and how active and how awesome God is in my life, I would be shocked. And gang, even on days that I'm not feeling it, it is so amazingly helpful just to realize reality that according to Jesus, who did see clearly, according to Jesus, that if I would realize how present and active this amazing God is, I would be shocked. I would be, hallowed be your name. I would have a state of amazement. Okay, start your prayers in a state of amazement, not because you're so good, because he is so good. That's where Jesus taught us to pray. We'll start there. Our whole prayer lives will change. Hey, let's wrap up praying for one, asking God to send us one person. God, today, send us one person today to share your love with. Remember the saying, the only way we're truly going to love our lives is to love God.